Chokidar chor hai ya Narendra surrender can prove counterproductive. And in Bihar, the BJP is in pole position 7-0. Say the job crisis is serious. Then just studio chatter as to who is up and who is down.
The views expressed in this blog are hosted on my own website, are strictly personal, and do not reflect the views of any organization.
Namaskar, Ganesh Chaturthi ki aapko shubhkamnaएं. Hello and welcome to Straight Bat, my weekly video blog, where as the title suggests, I comment with a straight bat. Now every year, India Today magazine does a biannual Mood of the Nation survey conducted by the polling agency C Voter. It's been going on for over 2 decades. Now I know these are not good times to be a pollster. Most of them are still recovering from the 2024 Lok Sabha poll debacle, where almost all the pollsters without exception predicted an overwhelming victory for the BJP. As it turned out, it was far closer. But pollsters, my friends, are very brave people. Or maybe it's just their business model. So guess what? There is always a new poll lurking around the corner. With no general election though on the horizon, not till 2029, you could argue what's the point then in doing a Mood of the Nation poll that also looks closely at Lok Sabha seat and vote share numbers if elections were held today. To be honest, I remain skeptical increasingly of many of these big numbers. But I still maintain, my friends, that a poll that is done well with an honest intent is still possibly a better barometer of the public mood than just studio chatter as to who is up and who is down, especially in the hyper-polarized times in which we live. The last 6 months have been pretty turbulent. So much has happened. So all the more reason to look at the Mood of the Nation findings closely, especially on hot button issues of our time. So I thought on the Straight Bat, I would bring you my 10 key takeaways from the India Today C Voter August Mood of the Nation poll. Listen carefully. Takeaway number 1. Yes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is still Neta number 1 and the BJP is still party number 1. That's been the case since the last decade. There was a slight blip after COVID 2.0, but nothing has changed dramatically on the ground yet to suggest a major swing away from Mr. Modi or the BJP. Remember, the BJP's vote share has remained consistent in almost all the polls done, well above 35% nationally, and in this Mood of the Nation poll is still at an impressive 40-41%. The Congress, as the principal opposition, remains around 20 to 21%, just what they got in the Lok Sabha polls of that year, of 2024. The Mood of the Nation poll gives the BJP 260 seats on its own, which, like in the Lok Sabha last year, is still short of the halfway mark. The Congress is at 97, still short of a century, much like in the Lok Sabha polls. But let's forget these specific numbers of who will get how many Lok Sabha seats for now. Even vote share, that's often a little bit more accurate, still gives a very big edge to the BJP. So unless the swing voters, the floating voters, begin to move away in large numbers from the BJP, it is difficult to see how Prime Minister Modi or the BJP would lose out in a national election if held today. We are in that sense, my friends, because this has been going on over the last decade, in the age of Hindutva plus politics, or what I choose to call Moditva, where religious nationalism, as espoused by a strongman leader, remains a powerful magnet for a number of voters. Takeaway number 2. As I said, Mr. Modi is still very much Neta number 1. He is still trusted by many. But importantly, his popularity today is nowhere close to what it was at his peak. In the January 2023 Mood of the Nation poll, for example, Mr. Modi's performance satisfaction level was as high as 72%. In this latest poll, it has dipped to 58%. Even more interestingly, the satisfaction levels with the NDA or the NDA government has come down from 62% in February of 2025 to 52% just in the last 7 months. While it is admirable, certainly at one level, that even after 11 years in power, Mr. Modi's satisfaction levels are reasonably high. The Timo factor, there is Modi only, has possibly peaked now, and some would say has reached saturation point. What is clear beyond any doubt is without Mr. Modi at the helm, the BJP is vulnerable. Remember, in the 2024 CSDS post poll survey, 1 in every 4 voters of the BJP said that they voted for the party only because of Mr. Modi. Keep that in mind. Takeaway number 3. In the last 6 months, the biggest news story, my friends, was the terrible Pahalgam terror attack and then Operation Sindoor. In 2019, on the back of Pulwama and Balakot, the Modi-led NDA government swept to a 350 plus tally in the Lok Sabha, the BJP getting 304 seats on its own. But now the Mood of the Nation poll shows the BJP actually losing ground compared to 6 months ago, down by about 21 seats, now at 260 seats on their own. There is therefore very clearly no Sindoor bump, as there was a Balakot bump that raised the BJP's fortunes in 2019, where Balakot was seen as a clear and decisive moment in the war against terror. Sindoor's effectiveness was partly robbed, like it or not, because of a poorly handled communication strategy and by Donald Trump's repeated claims of having been the one who brought India and Pakistan to agree to a ceasefire overnight. Even in this poll, 31% believe that the ceasefire decision was that of the Prime Minister, but almost an equal number at 29% think it was brought about by Trump pressure. Takeaway number 4, which brings me to the elephant in the room, the new elephant in the room, Donald J. Trump. As per the Mood of the Nation survey, around 63% are worried by the impact of Trump tariffs on the economy. At the same time, over 60% feel India must hold its own and not compromise with the United States. So there is a desire at one level to look at the big American bully in the eye, but at the same time, there is a growing anxiety over what the future holds. Remember, this poll was conducted between July 1 and August 15th. So tariffs and their impact on the ground still remain a big X factor, because there is a real sense that livelihoods could be lost if this standoff continues for longer. Politically, Mr. Modi can wave the national flag on tariffs and a large number of people will support him. Swadeshi 2.0. But economically, don't be mistaken. We are entering far more uncertain times, and just how that will play out will be a key factor to be looked at in the months ahead. Which brings me, my friends, to my 5th point, to what every Mood of the Nation in the last few years has suggested. Contrary to the, can I call it, Godi media narrative of how we are becoming the 4th largest economy in the world and the world is looking up to India, truth is, on the ground in the country, there is concern over loss of jobs and falling incomes, or certainly flattening off of incomes of a number of people. The latest survey, for example, the Mood of the Nation shows that as many as 70%, 70, say the job crisis is serious. Rozgar is an issue that remains an Achilles heel for the Modi government. In an age of AI on one hand, on a need for sarkari jobs on the other, an uncertain global climate, tepid demand, a dip in business confidence, as the Business Today survey shows, the lowest in 11 quarters, the government has to wake up now and smell the coffee. Hyper nationalism and talking the language of Swadeshi alone may not be enough in this tough economic environment, is one of the major takeaways. Takeaway number 6. If the Modi government is vulnerable to economic uncertainty, why do their numbers in electoral terms remain so robust that if elections are held today, the BJP will still win comfortably? That's largely because the opposition still doesn't come across, my friends, as good enough to show up the government's governance deficit. The mood of the nation is for a stronger opposition. Around 63% still want the India alliance to continue. But the truth is, on the ground, the alliance hasn't got its act together by putting together a cohesive agenda of what it stands for, both economically and politically. Where is the opposition model, either at a state or a national level, that will offer a robust alternative to the Modi model? And that remains an unanswered question and a challenge for the opposition to capitalize if there is creeping anti-incumbency. Okay, this brings me to my seventh takeaway from the Mood of the Nation poll, and that concerns a mystery wrapped inside an enigma called Rahul Gandhi. Now, the latest Mood of the Nation poll firmly puts Rahul Gandhi as challenger number one from the opposition to the Narendra Modi government. As per the poll, 28% felt he was best suited to lead the opposition India bloc challenge. Mamta Banerjee came next. She was at 8%. To some extent, these numbers may suggest that because he is the leader of the Congress, which is the largest opposition party, therefore Rahul Gandhi naturally is seen as the main contender. To some extent, it also shows that Rahul Gandhi has made himself far more visible in the public eye, both inside parliament but also importantly outside, by leading agitations against the Modi government. The question arises, is that visibility enough? Is taking on Mr. Modi head on enough? Because there is one view, and this is partly personal, that targeting Mr. Modi personally, Chokidar Chor Hai ya Narendra Surrender, can prove counterproductive. If I look at a direct question in the poll, who do you prefer as next PM? Modi is chosen by 52%, Rahul Gandhi by 25%. The gap in that sense isn't as wide as it was, let's say, a couple of years ago. But if the elections are made presidential, as the BJP tends to do, then it is still advantage Mr. Modi in a way. The challenge, therefore, for Mr. Rahul Gandhi is, how do you match the resources, the organization, the leadership experience that the BJP has? And that organizational challenge in particular, and framing a strong narrative as to why there should be change, remains a big challenge for the Congress leader and the opposition in general. Which brings me to point number 8. Vote chori or election theft campaign that Rahul Gandhi is leading at the moment from the state of Bihar. As per this poll, 64% still believe that elections are free and fair. 64%. 32% don't. Now, there are two ways to look at these numbers. A, that 64% still have complete faith in the electoral process, but 32% is a very large number. 1 in every 3 are raising questions. Maybe these are opposition voters, but even so, this should trouble the government. My own view, elections in India are free, but they are certainly not fair. There is no level playing field, and that message is slowly creeping down to more and more voters. The poll says 35% believe that the BJP manipulated Maharashtra and Haryana to win the elections. 58% disagree. Now, this is a national poll. Again, 35% is a substantial number, but the majority disagree with it. So, people are divided on political lines. If you're a Modi supporter, you believe sab kuch changa hai. If you are not a Modi supporter, you're a critic of Modi government, you believe dal mein kuch kala hai ya puri dal kali hai. In my view, this Mood of the Nation poll suggests that vote chori may certainly be gathering traction, especially on social media, but it is not a ticket to power on its own, at least not yet for the opposition. It may grab eyeballs, it may create a stir on the YouTube, but in the real world, it may not change voter preferences unless the individual concerned is actually affected by voter fraud. Which brings me to the ninth point. While the BJP remains a dominant national player, at the state level, the party remains vulnerable. The opinion poll or the Mood of the Nation poll shows Mamta Banerjee holding her own in West Bengal. Stalin well ahead in Tamil Nadu. The Congress and the left still the two main competitors in Kerala, although the BJP has grown. And in Bihar, the BJP is in pole position, but as we saw in the 2020 assembly polls, the opposition is not being discounted just yet, with Tejasvi Yadav seen as the most popular leader. Net net, the BJP isn't half as successful in piercing through entrenched state level regional loyalties as it is in creating a national wave in parts of the Hindi heartland and in central and western India. Finally, a 10th point, a question not asked in the Mood of the Nation poll, but one which I raise in my 2024 election book, which I hope you've read, and a question that begs an honest answer. Please listen carefully. Would the election results be any different if the mainstream media was fairer in this country? What would happen if the mainstream media spoke truth to power routinely, exposed not just the failings of the opposition as it tends to do, but more importantly, focus on where the government has gone wrong? Would an expose, for example, of the links between government and big business that shadows this government's policies be ever truly exposed? And if it were exposed by the media, how would then that impact voter choices and popularities of the ruling dispensation? Let me not say any more today. But let me, in a sense, perhaps throw up the idea that while we have a mood of the nation, maybe what we really need next is a state of the media poll. Think about it. That was the straight bat. Do, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more such videos. For now, stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind, Namaskar, Ganpati Bappa Moria.